Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. We're going to allow a few minutes to admit our attendees, and we'll get started momentarily.
Hello? Anthony?
Panel members, if you guys can start muting your microphone. Good evening, attendees and participants to our parent information meeting. We'll be getting started pretty soon. We just want to make sure and allow our participants to get admitted into the webinar. Thank you for your patience.
I think here I'm not.
Good evening, everyone. We'll get started momentarily. We're just allowing our participants to enter the webinar. Thank you for your patience. Okay, we are going to get started. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Justin Garza High School's first ever parent information meeting. We are very excited to have you join us tonight. And this is another realization of us getting closer to opening up our school in August of 2021. Before we begin, I would like to invite all of our participants to join the webinar and use the features that are available to you in this Zoom webinar broadcast. So first, what I would like to do is invite anyone who is in need of translation to click on the icon that is at the bottom of the screen that has a globe that says interpretation. If you click that button, you will have an option to choose the language that you will be receiving today's presentation. We will be presenting in English and we will provide translation in Spanish and Punjabi. En este momento, si ustedes están necesitando traducción para esta presentación, pueden imprimir y hacer clic en el retrato de el mundo que dice interpretation y de allí escoger la idioma de español. Sasriga. If you would like translation in Punjabi, please follow the pictures that are on the screen to arrive there. And at this moment, we're going to allow our participants that are joining into the translation services to join, and we'll get started momentarily. Okay, we will get started now. I also want to alert you to another feature of today's webinar. At the bottom of the screen, you will see an icon that says Q&A. That is a chat feature where you will be able to type in questions. We will have one of our panelists who will then use the Q&A session to read out questions to the moderators, and we will try to answer as many of the questions in today's presentation. Be assured that if we do not answer all the questions, we will be printing out the questions and providing responses, and then we will share those out to you again through the platform of Parent Square, and we will also post them on the school website. At this time, I would now like to have formal introductions of the panel members. I am Mr. Gutierrez. I'm the principal of Justin Garza High School. In addition to myself, we have some key members of our staff already hired. We have our principal secretary, Mrs. Julie Lopez, and she'll wave to the camera now. We also have in attendance Mrs. Melissa Hernandez, who serves as our Guidance Learning Dean. She is tasked with the counseling part of our school, making sure our classes get approved, and helps matriculate our students into the correct classes. So please welcome Melissa Hernandez. In addition, we have Mr. Hovig Torigian, who serves as our athletic director. He will share some information regarding our athletic programs later on in the presentation. I would also like to introduce Ms. Ashley Schoolfield, who serves as our activities director. She will share important information with you about our clubs and our activities and how we're going to build our culture at Justin Garza High School. We also have other members from our district office in attendance and helping us in today's presentation. From the Office of Child Welfare and Attendance, we have Ms. Maisie Young, who will present information today in regards to intra-district transfer and any other questions you might have in that regard. We also have in attendance Mrs. Gurpreet Dillon, who is a counselor at West Campus, and she will provide answers to any questions you might have about West Campus that has now become, or will become next year, a school of choice. I would also like to thank our interpreters for today. We have William Lazo and Kuwant Kaur, who are interpreting in Spanish and Punjabi for tonight's presentation. We invite you all to please follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure that you are up to date with information regarding the building of Justin Garza High School. You can follow us using the handles at JGH_. We will have that as a standard practice for all of our accounts, clubs, and activities at Justin Garza High School to make it a lot easier and to streamline those accounts so that you can more easily find information. We also invite you to be looking onto our website on occasion to find updated information on news items of what's happening at our school. At this time now, I would like to start off our presentation by giving you an update of the actual building that is happening at Justin Garza High School. We've created a short video clip, and we will play that now to give you just some insight and a summary of the update of how the school is progressing as it's being built. Please watch. Hi there, future guardians and Central Community. I'm standing at the main entrance of what will be Justin Garza High School. I'm excited to give you a tour of our campus so you can see the progress that's being made on the building of our home of the Guardians. So we're super excited, and I hope that this video gets you hyped up for our grand opening in August of 2021. So come along, let's take a look.
I wanna fly, can you take me far away? Give me a star to reach for, tell me what it takes, and I'll go so high, my feet won't touch the ground. Just hitch my wings and pull the strings. I bought these dreams that all fall down.
I don't know about you, but I still get chills every time I watch that video. And I want to thank Mr. Teresian for creating that video for us and giving us a snapshot of our campus as it's being built. I would also like to thank Harris Construction and all of the construction workers that are working tirelessly to build our campus and see its completion to be ready for opening of our school in August of 2021. We will have an orientation and a tour of our campus for all of our students and the community as we get closer to the grand opening. So please stay tuned for that information as it becomes available. If you want to see the video clip again, you're able to do that by visiting our school website and also our social media accounts. So we're getting ready to build a high school. And I believe that there are two parts to building a high school. There's obviously the building itself and building the edifice, what's called the brick and mortar of a school. But I also believe that there's a second part, and that's building the culture of a school. And I believe that's more essential because people are more important than an actual building. And I'm excited about today's meeting because the purpose of the meeting is to lay the foundation of who we are as Justin Garza High School and who we're going to be in the future. This is just the start of what we're going to do together as we build the culture for Justin Garza. This isn't a task and a responsibility that falls solely on my shoulders or on the Justin Garza faculty and staff's shoulders, but rather this is a collective duty. It's going to be our entire community coming together to build this culture and to build the high school, which is going to be Justin Garza High School. And that's a historical feat. Just building a high school is very historical. But I think that it's even more historical to build a high school in this day and age, especially as we come out of this pandemic. I think that people are going to come out of this pandemic hungry and eager to be a part of something bigger and greater of themselves. And Justin Garza High School is just that. I think that we are going to be a beacon of hope for our community, not just for Central Unified, but also for the greater Fresno area. My vision is that Justin Garza High School is that beacon of hope and light for Fresno. And so the work that we're going to begin today as we build our school, build our foundation, is to keep that in mind, making sure that our students, our families, and our communities always find at Justin Garza a place they can call home and a place they can call family. So today's meeting is intended to give you some information. It won't cover all the details that you might have or might think of. And we'll get to all those details together as we continue in our journey. But today's meeting is definitely intended to get you excited and to start writing that history that we're going to write together of building Justin Garza High School. And without further ado, I'm so excited to pass the torch on now to Ms. Hernandez to start off our presentation. I just also want to say one last thing. As we progress through our presentation tonight, please keep in mind that next year will be only year one of Justin Garza High School. Next year, we will start with freshmen and sophomores. Obviously, our programs and our clubs and activities will be limited to just serve those students. But as we grow as a school, as a community, we're going to be adding more programs. We're going to offer more classes. Every year, we'll be adding another grade level until we have our full running school with grades freshman through senior. So we're super excited about that. Just want to make sure that that's abundantly clear as we start the presentation tonight. And I hope that you get the information you need. Please use the Q&A section to ask questions, and we'll make sure to answer those as we go along. So without further ado, here is Mrs. Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Gutierrez. Hi, everybody. Welcome this evening. We're so happy you could join us to get more information on Justin Garza High School. I'd like to start by introducing our university system that we will operate at Justin Garza. This is the same type of university system that is currently operated at both East and West Campus. Students whose last names begin with letters A through L will be serviced under the Harvard University, and students with last names beginning M through Z will be serviced under the Yale University. The university system really provides for students to have their needs met and to build relationships with those adults in the university. Our universities consist of a vice principal, a GIA, counselors, as well as a secretary. Our guardians will take a stand at Justin Garza High School. We will strive for success. We will think of others, act responsibly, never give up, and demonstrate leadership. Justin Garza High School is set to open August of 2021 with 9th and 10th graders. We are estimating approximately 900 students to open our school. Our school is named after Mr. Justin Garza, who was a high school teacher and a football coach. Mr. Justin Garza received a Bachelor of Arts degree in Natural Sciences and Chicano Studies from California State University, Fresno, and a Master of Arts in Education and Instructional Technology from National University. In 2014, Justin was awarded the Fresno State Kremen School of Education noted alumni for his significant contributions and passion for education. His unique intellect challenged and motivated others. Justin's passion for education and learning, for betterment, and for being part of something greater than yourself will live on in all that we do at Justin Garza High School. Our high school schedule and the hours of students will attend is from 7:25 to 2:30, same as the other high schools currently. Our minimum days are on Wednesdays, which will be a 2 o'clock release time. All students will have 6 classes daily. Our freshmen will have an English course, a math course, biology, physical education, freshman requirements, and an elective. The freshman requirement course will be a semester of the California State Required Health class, as well as another semester of a course covering world cultures. The 10th grade schedule will be very similar. 10th graders will have an English course, a math course, chemistry, physical education, modern world history, and an elective. There will be opportunities for an accelerated English, accelerated math, and science courses. Students will have the ability to select courses in the following categories: visual arts, which will be ceramics, draw and paint, graphic design possibly, performing arts, which is theater, dance, choir, and guitar. Our consumer family services, foreign language. Currently, we'll only be offering Spanish as a foreign language, but again, as we grow, we definitely hope to offer more world languages for our students. There will be elective courses in business and technology as well. There will be some variation in these courses for students based on their specific schedule needs, and each counselor will make adjustments as necessary. Our graduation requirements are listed in the chart. Our 9th graders will have a graduation credit requirement of 230 credits, while our 10th graders will have a graduation requirement of 240 credits. And that's simply because our incoming 10th graders have already taken a world geography course that counts for graduation. Students will earn 5 credits per semester for each class that is passed. And passing is considered an A, B, C, or D. However, a D will not give students credit toward applying for a 4-year university.
Mrs. Hernandez, I just wanted to chime in. We have some questions in the chat room. Yeah. So our students who are currently in advanced English or math as freshmen, are they going to have options for honors courses or advanced courses?
Yes, our current freshmen will have opportunities to take accelerated courses next year as a sophomore.
And just to clarify that point, for advanced placement classes, we will obviously be offering the junior level advanced placement classes once we get juniors on our campus, which will be at year 2. And at year 3, when we get seniors, we'll obviously be adding more AP classes that would traditionally be taken by our senior students. Thank you.
Thank you. Wanted to show you our 4-year college entrance requirements. So students who successfully graduate from Justin Garza High School do fulfill the requirement for 4-year college entrance. I'm sorry, the 4-year college entrance requirements, as long as they take 2 years of the same foreign language. So that is the only thing that they have to take in addition to the graduation requirements in order to be able to apply for a 4-year university. And that's fulfilling the A through G list. They must have C's or better in all core classes. They will be required to take an SAT or an ACT. And based on the college they apply to, there could be specific subject tests for UC admissions. So here's a little more information on advanced placement courses. What is AP? AP is considered advanced placement. The advantages to taking an AP course is a high level of rigor and preparation for college. Students can receive an augmented grade. It stands out in the college admission process. And students could possibly earn college credits if they pass the AP course as well as the AP exam. Regardless of the high school that you or your child will attend in Central Unified, 9th graders are allowed to take AP Human Geography. That will be an academic elective that they can take. And our 10th graders can take an AP Modern World History course. So like I said, regardless if you attend East Campus, West Campus, or Justin Garza, these are the only options for 9th and 10th grade. But again, the AP world opens up when students hit 11th and 12th grade. And as we grow, we will offer more AP courses. If you are unsure if you are ready or your child is ready for an AP course, or if your child is interested in an AP course, taking an accelerated course to prepare is encouraged. Maisie, do we have any AP questions before I move on?
I am going through it now. It looks like you answered the one with Mr. Gutierrez. There's some elective questions and some pathway program questions, but I know that you're going to hit those in a little bit.
Okay, perfect. And if we don't answer those questions, we will at the end of the presentation. Thank you. Justin Garza High School career pathways. So the reason that we offer career pathways is to provide a personalized high school experience with a small community, integrating academic and vocational instruction with real-world relevance to prepare our students for post-secondary education and employment. Some of the reasons that you would choose a pathway is that integration of real-world relevance with high academic standards. It's an opportunity for hands-on learning. This is a small learning community with students sharing common interests. And it allows for a relationship between students and teachers by being grouped together throughout high school. The potential pathways that we will offer at Justin Garza High School is hospitality, tourism and recreation, business and finance, engineering and architecture, information and communication technology. And I say that these are potential pathways because these will be the course offerings that we put on the course registration. We definitely want to see which of these our students have the most interest in and guide our course offerings towards that. Pathways also, completion of pathways also gauge the preparedness for college and career readiness. Students completing a pathway is one of the requirements or one of the ways that students show that they are prepared for college and career readiness. There are several ways that students can show this readiness, and this is a document that students will review with their counselors in small group and individual meetings. We would like to make you aware of a few California laws regarding college opportunity for immigrants. These laws allow students, regardless of immigration status, the opportunity to go to a public college or university in California and pay resident fees. The requirement is that students must complete at least 3 years of K-12, adult school, community college, or any combination that is the equivalent of 3 years. This allows undocumented students the right to apply for, and if qualified, receive state aid. Students must complete and submit the DREAM Act application. For more information, you can contact your counselor, Raul Moreno at Fresno State, or Nora Ceballos here in our district office. Mr. Gutierrez would like to have a little information.
I simply wanted to make it clear to any student or any family member out there who is listening who has DACA status as a dreamer. We're going to support all of our students, and we want all of our students to excel and find their full potential. We want all of our students to graduate, to meet the requirements to enter college or to enter a trade school if they want, or a career. So we invite all of our students, if they have DACA status or Dreamer status, to please share that information with the counselor so we can provide you the best services and make sure that we are here to support you. All of our students will find their home and sense of family at Justin Garza. And we want to make sure that our students feel comfortable and actualize their full potential and their goals, even if they have DACA Dreamer status.
Thank you. We would like all of our guardians to be involved in some part of our school. So we would like to spend some time talking about athletics, clubs and activities, and academic teams. I'd like to introduce Mr. Hovig Tarigian, the athletic director, to speak on our athletic programs.
Thank you, Mrs. Hernandez. Before we start, I would just like to, on behalf of myself in the Justin Garza High School Athletic Department, I'd like to thank everybody for taking the time to join us here tonight, as well as thank you to our administration for allowing me the opportunity to share some of the insights and happenings of our athletic program here at Justin Garza High School. For the last 2 months or so, we've been working very diligently to hire coaches for the 16 sports we'll be offering. All of those coaches, both men and women, are individuals with high character. They will be around our athletes, and we expect them to be positive role models to our athletes, to guide them and steer them in the right directions and give them the proper developmental skills for each individual sports, as well as the life skills that are needed. We are close to completing the hiring of all our coaches outside of a couple sports, but we're really excited of those individuals that we've hired and are looking forward to building a successful, strong, competitive athletic program at Justin Garza High School. Just to break down our season of sports schedule, it is in line with both Central High School and our middle schools. We have 3 seasons of sport: fall, winter, and spring. Our fall sports include football, pep and cheer, girls volleyball, girls golf, cross country, and girls tennis. As we transition to our winter season of sport, we have both boys and girls basketball, boys and girls soccer, and wrestling. And finishing it off with our spring sports, we have baseball, softball, track and field, boys tennis, boys volleyball, boys golf, and girls badminton. If you notice, we do not have on there water polo, which is a fall sport, and we do not have on there swim and dive as a spring sport. We will not be offering those sports until our pool complex or our aquatics complex is complete. We do not have a timetable on that, but we do know our district has it in the plans, and they're working with a construction company and all that to get that done. But we are anticipating there to be a water polo program as well as a swim and dive program in the future. As soon as we get information on that and we are more confident knowing about a timetable, we will obviously release that to the community and to our athletes as well. Being a brand new school, we've talked about only housing freshmen and sophomores. We will be having only freshman teams the first year. Because we are a first year school, we will be a independent school. We will not be directed to a certain league per se. We will be freelancing. So pretty much that means is we will not have league competition games. We will just be scheduling events and competitions with various schools. And we'll be working hand in hand with myself, other athletic directors around the Valley, and our coaches to come up with a competitive schedule. Now, some of the questions that were asked before was, if my child is a sophomore, what are they going to play? Because we are a first year school, we do have the exemption where we will have both freshmen and sophomores competing on a freshman team. Obviously, the second year, we'll have a third grade level, which we will now then expand to a freshman and JV schedule or a freshman and JV team. Moving down to physicals, we'll be using the Family ID platform. Some of you may be used to that at the middle school and the high school. We will be doing the same at Justin Garza. For those of you who are not familiar with Family ID, it's pretty much a co-curricular packet online. You and your athlete will go online, fill out all the information on the Family ID portal, and then you will schedule an appointment with your doctor or physician to get a physical. We are abiding by the guidelines by our district that every athlete must have a physical and be cleared with their co-curricular packet in order to try out and participate in our sports. And lastly, the NCAA clearinghouse. If you already know your child has an interest in participating in sports at the college level, it is very important that as a freshman, you keep that in mind with your education. The NCAA has increased their minimum GPA requirement in order to be eligible as a first year NCAA college athlete. That GPA has been raised to a 2.3. So it's really important that you and your athlete and child follow along their grades and make sure that they're in constant communication with their counselors, teachers, coaches to make sure that they're in the right spot. So when they get to that point, they can have a chance to participate in college sports. And then lastly, if you look at the bottom, the Pep and Cheer meeting, which is scheduled for March 26th. There will be more information that comes out in our Instagrams and social media feeds and school websites as well. So that's pretty much a brief rundown. We're really eager to get it started and looking forward to it. If you have any questions, feel free to type in the comments. And then also my email is on the top right there, htarigian@centralunified.org. At any time, if you have any questions or comments regarding our athletic programs and what we're going to be doing as a startup school, feel free to reach out to me and I will do my best to answer your question and get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much, Mrs. Hernandez.
We have a few questions pertinent to athletics. So if you can just stay on for a minute. Someone asked, what if you have a varsity athlete that's coming in as a sophomore?
Well, if they're coming, if a varsity athlete is coming in as a sophomore, they have two choices. One, because we do not have a varsity program. I mean, depending on the sport, but we do not have a varsity program. So their other option would be to put in a transfer to go to one of the other central schools.
And we will have Miss Young from CWA at the district office talk a little bit more in detail about that in the next couple of slides.
And it's the same, I guess, Mr. Gutierrez, it's the same thing too. I know some people are going to ask, well, what about aquatics? What about, water polo, swim and dive? Again, that falls into that category. If your child wants to do water polo, swim or dive, unfortunately, because we're not equipped for that sport right now, they would put in for a transfer to go to Central High School. And again, like Mr. Gutierrez said, Miss Maisie will talk about that during her portion.
Thank you. And just one last question. Somebody mentioned, I didn't understand what you meant by not being part of a league. My son plays competitive travel soccer. Can you add just a little bit more information about the league?
Yes. So for your first year as a new school, you're always considered freelance, since you don't have all levels of sports when you're starting it the way we are. So right now, the CIF year number 2, we will be assigned a league. Right now, that is in the hands of the CIF to determine what league we will be in and what division we will be in. So as soon as we get that information, obviously we'll be posting that on our social media websites and sharing that with our community.
Thank you. Okay, back to Mrs. Hernandez.
Thank you. I'd like to turn the presentation over to Miss Ashley Schoolfield to talk about Justin Garza High School activities, academic competitive teams, and clubs.
Hi, everyone. It is so exciting to meet with all of you here online. You may have seen some of my posts on Facebook under 2 pages, Central United and Keeping Central Unified. I encourage you to join one of those pages. I will be updating those with our news and our events as they come along. And I also want to encourage you, as we mentioned in the very beginning of the meeting, to frequent our website as well as follow us on social media. We will be posting everything there, so it would be a really good idea to follow us. Let me talk about leadership and ASB. So leadership is a class that is composed of elected class and ASB officers, appointed ASB officers, and also chosen class council members. They are responsible for all the activities that are going to take place on campus. So like rallies, dances, student staff appreciation, lunchtime activities. So if your student is already in leadership right now, we would love to have them be a part of the high school leadership team at Justin Garza High School. If your student is not a part of leadership and they're just looking for, a place to, get out of their comfort zone or get a better opportunity to connect with the community, we would love to have them in leadership. Leadership, has a plethora of students. It's not just, all of your AP students. It's not just all of your athletes. We want everyone from all backgrounds. So we really encourage you to not let that be a hindrance to having them apply for the leadership class. Clubs, we really want our students to drive the clubs that we will have available at Justin Garza High School. So if your student is really wanting to open up, a robotics club or a mock trial club, we want to be there to support them. We want to be there to support them in their venture of that. And we're going to have our faculty members also support them as advisors. Some examples of some competitive teams that we may have on campus: academic decathlon, American Justice, which is mock trial, Odyssey of the Mind, which is a creative problem solving competition, and then also robotics. So those are just some examples. Just as a quick memo, you don't need to hold an office to be in leadership. If your student doesn't want to, be class president or be part of the class council, they are more than welcome to enroll in leadership. But keep in mind that leadership is an elective class. So that would take that elective spot. Ms. Maisie, do we have any questions about leadership?
You do not. You actually answered the questions. There was questions about a chess club and GSA. They just wanted to know how they would get those started. So thank you so much for that.
Absolutely beautiful. Yes, we would have opportunities for your students to start those clubs as well. And we would have faculty to support them. So we're really excited.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Schoolfield. At Justin Garza High School, we want all of our guardians to be connected to our school, and we will do that through the assistance of some of our support services. One of our support systems is going to be our university system. This really allows us intentionality when we're meeting with our kids, and we see the same kids in the university. We get to know them, their needs and their situations, and how to best serve them. Parent Portal is another student support service. We can't do this without you parents. So if you are not on Parent Portal, we highly encourage you to create a Parent Portal account. This allows you to check your child's grades and any assignments that they have. We also encourage you to log on to Parent Square to receive any information that the site pushes out, and the district as well. Once our school opens, we will be offering some platform of tutoring, and we hope to also provide an after-school program. We know that coming back from our COVID closure is going to require that our students need some extra social emotional support, and our intervention specialists and intervention counselor is going to be a big part of that. Students' access to schedules. Our incoming 9th grade students will register in their middle school class on January 21st and 22nd, so this Thursday and Friday. The counselors will be there to answer any questions on any of the course requests that the students have, and all course requests must be complete by January 29th. Incoming 10th grade students will register at their current high school at the end of January or beginning of February. Step-by-step registration instructions will be provided for students. We'll have a video of that and we'll post it if you would like to view that with your child. And we encourage parents to review the class choices with the students. If you log on to Parent Portal, you'll be able to view only their class selections. You have to log on to the Student Portal site in order to make any of those changes. Schedules will be available to students the week before school begins, only if parent or guardian complete the Parent Portal information update through Parent Portal. It's very important that we have up-to-date information, and doing it all online is the easiest way. Miss Maisie, are you ready to talk about transfers?
I sure am.
Okay.
Thank you so much and welcome. Thank you again for joining us, community. While requesting a transfer is not new to Central Unified when it comes to our TK through 8th graders, a formal request for a transfer through student services from one high school in Central to another high school here in Central is going to be something that's new. So that just so you all are aware, there are two different kinds of transfers. There's an intra-district and an inter-district transfer. The intra-district transfer is for our families who reside within the Central Unified attendance boundaries, but want their student to attend a different school here in Central Unified. So let's say, for example, you're interested in a Pathways program that's at East Campus, but you're slated to attend Justin Garza. You would want to fill out an intra-district transfer request. Those requests will be made available online and at the district office in our office, which is room 13, starting in April. Inter-district transfers are for families who reside outside of the Central Unified attendance area, but they want their student to come here to a school in Central Unified. For those, you'll want to start at your district of residence, whether that be Fresno, Clovis, Madera, just to give a few examples. Once you've filled out the form with them, they will then send that transfer our way in student services. Approval and denial of transfers is based first off of space availability. One big caveat to everything that I just said is if your student would like to attend West Campus, as long as you reside here in Central Unified, you do not need a transfer to attend Central High West Campus. I know that I have thrown a ton of information out. Our number to the office is here on the slide, and I am more than happy to answer any questions that you all may have this evening.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Young. We have a few questions that are pertinent to your office. First, how will my son register for next year if he is currently doing Central Online Homeschool?
So what you'll want to do is you'll want to let the counselor there know, Mrs. King, know that you would like your student to return to the comprehensive campus. And as long as your address is slated for Justin Garza High School, then he will be rolled over to Justin Garza High School next year. The option is obviously there to continue them at Central Online Homeschool. You just have to let the counselor know which one you want to do.
Okay, another question. My son is currently on a transfer to El Capitan. Will he be given opportunity to register for Garza, not East classes?
For the time being, all students will be registered at their home high school. So where your address is slated to, that's the high school that they will be registered in. Once transfers are available, please visit our office in April and we can give you that transfer request form. And like I said, transfer approvals are based off of space availability.
Okay, another question. Would there be bus service to Central, West, and East? I believe that question might be in regards to students from Garza taking classes at Central, East, and Central West. So Ms. Young, can you give us a scenario of a student who is registered at Justin Garza and how, as a standalone school, all the classes will be contained there?
For sure. So because Justin Garza is at standalone school, they won't be sharing any classes with Central High East or West Campus. All your classes will be located at Justin Garza High School. Central East and Central West will continue to share things such as VAPA and sports, but in regards to classes, they'll also be standalone campuses. So there won't be as much shuttling between campuses, and you won't see shuttling from Justin Garza to a different high school. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. And so far, I believe that's it. Oh, if a transfer is approved, will a new request have to be submitted each year?
Yes, that is one of the big things regarding transfers, and thank you to the parent that did ask that question. Transfers do have to be renewed every year, and the biggest reason for that is based off of space availability. That's probably the two words that you all will just get tired of me saying, but it is based off of space availability. So unfortunately, every year we do have to review those numbers and make sure that your student can remain on those transfers. The one and only time that we would have to find space is once seniors are able to attend Justin Garza High School, as long as they've been attending their obviously their 11th to 12th grade year, or when they start as a freshman. Should you move, they would receive senior privileges.
Okay, thank you.
One more piece about transfers that I'd like to add. Transfer approval is not required for students to attend West Campus. There will be an option when students register for students to select West Campus. They can also select the academy or pathway they would like to join at the West Campus, and then they will be automatically pulled over. You do not have to visit the student services office if you would like your child to attend Central West. Thank you for joining us this evening. I've listed a couple points of contact on this slide. I've listed my name and my email address should you have any questions regarding Justin Garza High School. I've also listed the contact information for Mrs. Gurpreet Dillon, who is a counselor at Central High School West, should you have any questions regarding the programs they will operate. And the phone number and extension for Mrs. Nora Ceballos. She is willing to help any families that need translation services to relay their questions. A couple things I'd like to add before we take questions. I'd like to talk a little bit more about electives. So when we're talking about foreign language, we had a few questions last time about students who took Spanish in middle school. If your child took 2 semesters of Spanish in 7th grade and 2 semesters of Spanish in 8th grade and passed them all with a C or better, they are able to register to take Spanish 2 their 9th grade year in high school. Another thing I'm not sure I mentioned, but I wanted to be clear was VAPA, our visual and performing arts. There will be modern dance offered in lieu of physical education.
In addition to that, there were a few questions, Ms. Hernandez, about our VAPA program. People wanted to know about band and choir. So if you could just say a little bit about what classes will be offered in that under that umbrella.
Sure. Over or through the umbrella of visual and performing arts, we do offer our band courses. There will be marching band, percussion, choir, flamenco guitar. Am I missing?
No, I think that's it. Yeah. And then there's Modern Dance 1, Modern Dance 2.
Yes, modern
We
dance.
also have our traditional theater classes that are currently offered at East and West that will also be housed at Justin Garza. For our visual arts, we will be offering drawing and paint, as well as ceramics, and we will have a video production class. And depending on student interest, we might have a digital graphic design type of class as well. So we invite your student to keep an eye out for the classes that are offered on the registration form when that time comes. Another question, Ms. Hernandez, was what are the requirements to take an AP class?
Sure. We don't have any very specific requirements for students to be enrolled in an AP course. However, we need to make it very clear that an AP course does have a high level of rigor, and the teachers run through the curriculum quickly. It is a fast-paced course. So if you do not currently excel in a subject matter, I would try an accelerated course before registering for an AP course. You can also ask your middle school teachers, your English teacher, your social science teacher, math, science. They have an idea of what AP courses are about at the high school level. They would be able to guide your decision on taking an AP course. And remember that no matter which high school you attend, as a ninth grader, the only AP course you can take is AP Human Geography, which would be an academic elective. And as a 10th grader, AP Modern World History.
So we are currently in the process, like I mentioned at the start of today's presentation, we obviously are offering classes in the first year for sophomores and for freshmen only. As we grow our campus and add more grade levels, there will be a greater variety of classes offered for students. Traditionally, the freshmen and the sophomores will usually get one elective. So that is why we are offering what's known as the baseline elective within those categories that we have discussed today. So as we move forward, we're looking at possibly offering other languages other than Spanish. But obviously for the first year, Spanish will be the offering that we have. And I don't know if we were able to answer all of the questions, but for time's sake, what we're going to do.
Mr. Gutierrez, I'm so sorry. This is Maisie. Can I just interrupt super fast just because there is one question that I do want to make sure that we answer, and it is the homeschool locator on our website, the district website, updated to reflect Justin Garza. At this time, it is not. So if you type your address in and you know for sure you're slotted for Justin Garza and you don't see it come up on the school locator, it's because we're working on different coding to make sure that it shows that to enroll in Justin Garza, it would be for the 21-22 school year. We don't want to confuse anybody with the current school year and where they would enroll for high school. So sorry, Mr. Gutierrez, just wanted to make sure that I was able to answer that question live.
No, thank you, Ms. Young. Another question was in regards to band, if it will be combined with Central East's program, and it will not be. We will have our standalone band, choir, performing arts at Justin Garza High School. We have hired our band and choir director, Mr. Kevin Tinkle, and he's very anxious and excited to get the program off the ground. He will be making visits to the current choir and the current band middle schools that feed into Justin Garza to introduce himself and talk more about the programs that will be offered at Justin Garza as he looks to build those programs at our campus. Okay, and just for time's sake, like I mentioned before, we didn't have a chance to answer every single one of the questions. They are being recorded. And what we will be doing as a team is gathering together to make sure we answer all the questions. And we will share those back out to our families through Parent Square and also post that on our school website. We also want to make it clear, a lot of people ask questions if they were slated to go to Justin Garza or attend Justin Garza High School. If you received our welcome introduction post that was through Parent Square, that is because your home residence is slated to be in the Justin Garza boundary. We will have more graphics to spell that out, just like Ms. Young mentioned, as we get the coding done to make that a more easy process for our families. But I just wanted to make sure we shared that out. Okay, and at this time, if there isn't anything else, I just wanted to thank everybody. Today was the beginning of the story we're going to write together as we build our home, the home of the Guardians. And we were excited to begin this journey with each and every one of you. You're all so important to us. Please stay safe and healthy. We look forward to having you all join us for our grand opening events with all the grandeur that'll happen. In light of everything that's happening in our personal lives, we want to wish you all a very happy 2021, and we look forward to our journey together. Thank you so much, and have a nice evening, everyone.